Hi there everybody, Dave here from HeyUGuys, and again I'm joined by the wonderful John Lyus.
Ready Player One.
And we are going to talk, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to talk about Ready Player One, which debuted its first trailer at San Diego Comic-Con over the weekend. It seems to have got different opinions. I thought it was pretty cool. In 2045,
there's nowhere
John
left to go.
wasn't so keen, but anyway, here's Tye Sheridan.
Except the Oasis.
Talking about Oasis, different Oasis.
This is the first real proper look we've actually got at Spielberg's new film. Now, if anyone was going to direct an adaptation of the book, it's going to have to be Spielberg. He was, in the DNA of that book, which, if you don't know, is a future set dystopian thriller about a world in which everyone is connected to this Oasis, which is a sort of a worldwide VR simulation. So this is the world as it is, with everyone built in stacks on top of each other. This is actually one of my favourite things about the book is the actual world as people live. And you can see here, there's the woman dancing with the VR headset on a pole. And everyone lives in these kind of Wall-E type environments because all they need is their... I don't know. Anyway, they stick on their headset and then they get transported to this new thing. Now, the whole point about the book is that the creator of this guy called James Halliday, who's massively into geek culture, he left some Easter eggs when he died, and it's all about the hunt for them. There are various different stages. It basically is as much of a computer game as possible. Now, pause it there, Dave. I'll tell you why. This is the first look we've had at the Oasis. So if you just flip back a few frames, you'll see one of the, or a couple of the very first.
Gallagher or Liam.
No, that would be nice, but the actual if you, that's perfect. So what you have is when he puts it on, the tune is the notes of Pure Imagination out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which again is another nice reference to what it is, and also this notion of this amazing world that's not been seen. Those two there, as you can see on Tye Sheridan's left, that's Harley Quinn and Deathstroke, which is just a couple of the of the sort of pop culture cameos that this film is going to be littered with. So it's kind of like this is the film that the internet has been waiting for years. This is why the book did so well. I was not a massive fan of the book. I enjoyed the references, but they just kept being hit so hard.
The Iron Giant.
However, seeing the Iron Giant.
Who's that on the
screen
right there? Is that
Well, there were people online who talked about it being what was it? Lady Deadpool, I think, because they mentioned about the swords, but they can't tell if it's actually her. It looked initially like it was going to be Link from Legend of Zelda, but I don't think it is. But cinematic game changer Steven Spielberg. You look at this, that right there is a perfect 80s movie aesthetic with all of the the autumnal trees and the DeLorean screaming around it.
I didn't realise that was the DeLorean that time as well. I saw it. It comes back at the end. Oh, so it is. I completely missed that the first time I saw it.
Yeah. So look at that. Then nothing like underselling it, the holy grail of pop culture. I mean, it is. It's just not a brilliant story. But anyway, less said about that, the better. There's Freddie Kruger being shot by this massive dude. That massive dude is one of the main character's friends, who's also searching for all of these little Easter eggs, because that's the point of the film. So they have to go through all of these various different battles, and it becomes very tedious in the book. But we're hoping that they can maybe do something good with that on film. So I mean, this is it. It's all going crazy. There's your generic orc type person. Lots of guns, lots of everything else.
Are you ready?
I mean, not really. I'm not that bothered.
I'm ready.
You know what I mean? This looks fine. I tell you what it does. It reminds me of AI, which is Spielberg's Kubrick film, which I loved. I love that so much, and there's much more to that than there seems to be. Certainly that was in the book for Ready Player One.
Is that and that? Is it going to be Schumacher or so? It won't be in 1980s.
As you can see,
it's quite Tron Light Cycle-esque, isn't it? This?
Well, you'll actually see the Tron Light Cycle with the Atari logo on it. So the thing is with this is the perfect thing to debut at Comic-Con, because there's a ton of references, and it's the first look we've had of something which is basically Comic-Con the movie. You have these various different battles. There it is, all these different battles and competitions, which it's all about finding these different things, and people. In a world where people can do anything, the fact that we're back to DeLoreans and races seems a little dull. There's Tye saying, "That's it, I've had enough," and frankly, so have I. Thing is, I think people really enjoy this, and they love picking up on the on the references. But this is essentially like a downloadable content for movies. You know, when you have like Mortal Kombat and you can download a Freddy character or something, and this seems to be, you know, generic future dystopia with lots of recognizable licensed downloadable content. The story in itself is not great. The world is really fascinating, and I'm hoping that what Spielberg's done is he's just taken the bare bones and has put Tye Sheridan's character right in the center of it, and is going to start pressuring him with a lot of, you know, different things, and that's how the story is going to go, rather than just here's Act 1 where they have to find something, here's Act 2, and then here's Act 3, you know, because it's breaking it down like that is actually fairly dull. You can't just have you know, the story as was. It would make for a fairly dull film in the end, because you can't just look at things for references. You know, this is going to have a million internet articles with like, I saw this and I saw that. You know, it's one big Easter egg hunt. Yeah. So, but you know, I have faith in Spielberg because he's Spielberg. You know, he was like I said earlier, he was, you know, his DNA is in this. So it'll be a kind of a weird full circle for him, you know, coming around and doing a film based on a world that basically worships him. You know what I mean? So
like Indiana Jones references, yeah, or anything like that. They surely have to come, don't they? And
I don't know, because it's Disney. Because Disney have it now. So unless they're like, yeah, go for it, mate. You know, you've done us proud in the past. Here's your whip.
But a lot of those references there aren't owned by Warner Brothers, but they can still pay license fees for them.
Yeah, I guess so. No,
and don't forget, he'll own. Although it's Lucasfilm, actually Amblin never had any say in it, did it? It was
no.
Them, yeah.
It was all Lucasfilm, which of course was sold, you know, because that's why we're talking about more Indiana Jones films. But what I'd be really interested to know is, you know, has anyone, you know, watching, have you read the book? What did you think of the trailer? Did it kind of capture the world? Does it make you excited for spending 2 hours plus? You know, following this guy and following this world? Because for me, it doesn't really. But then I'd be interested to hear about people who were really excited by the trailer.
Absolutely. So do let us know, as always, in the comments below what you thought of the Ready Player One trailer. Are you excited for it? It's still a year away, so I'm sure we'll see an awful lot more from it as time goes on. But yeah, like this video if you like it. Write in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and share. And we will see you next time on The Mouth Off. Take care. Bye.
Game over, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,